It's a tragic story of love.
It's about love, it's about life.
Okay, that's full wide on the Zoom now.
Momentum, redemption and sacrifice.
How many people have we got?
Anguish, alienation, distance, love.
The force of compulsion and addiction.
It's 200.
And dazzled by the kind of beauty of the world. Boys go together.
And look, you're like, oh my God.
Certainly a story of love. It's not a story about heroin. Heroin is involved, but I think the beauty of this film is it's not exploiting heroin or glorifying it.
It's about the struggles that, people go through and what love can bring in both its good forms and its bad forms.
They can really love and honour each other as husband and wife. It is pretty much about the intensity of a very particular relationship between a young woman in her early mid-20s, young guy, and that they happen to share this relationship with heroin.
The heroin kind of works its kind of poison and kind of both lifts them up, but leaves them sort of further and further away from the ground, if you like.
You don't actually see much overt drug use in the film. You're just aware that it's the driving force behind the greater story.
We've been searching for a long time for the right actor for Dan.
No, hold on. No, I'm sorry, okay? That's why I'm calling. I'm really sorry. I was after some money, that's all, some cash, and you had none. I want to give your wallet back.
Luke suggested that I look at Monsters Ball.
Heath is like a skittish colt. He absolutely can't sit still.
And when Heath had been suggested, my reaction was that he's too heroic. Like his natural energy is heroic. We needed someone, I suppose, kind of grubbier or edgier for Dan. But when I saw that performance, I just thought, oh no, he's completely wonderful.
The idea for the film came from the novel, and the novel is, as everybody knows, a sort of typical first novel, thinly veiled, semi-autobiographical.
Luke and I started work in 1999. I read the book in 1998 and rang Margaret, who'd given it to me to read.
Well, the genesis of the film really is that I was attracted to Luke's novel.
I sort of burned through the book. It was, it had such life.
It was very approximately 5 years and 5 drafts.
It's been about 6 years.
They say for every 10 years you've been a junkie, you will have spent 7 of them waiting.
Why should it be a film? What can we enrich from the incredible story that's in the novel?
On the one hand, it was nice having all that time to think. On the other, anxiety was a full-time job.
Not that the characters are me or any other real people, but that I lived in that world for a time.
Abbie pursued this part.
You start working, you hock your ass.
I'll get AIDS.
No, you won't, you moron. You'll make them use condoms like everybody else.
I just completely fell in love with it. I remember I read the script probably 2.5 years ago now.
She read a script quite early when I met her and I thought, oh no, I thought that she was too young.
Pregnant? Shit.
I've had my eye on Abbie since she was 14. I saw her in a television series in 1997.
We did a few tests actually over probably 18 months.
Firstly, you don't know what you're talking about. Secondly, I hate the sound of your voice.
She has an uncanny ability of going from 0 to 60 in a heartbeat.
Turn the light off and come to
I'm not
bed.
discussing this with you anymore.
Turn the light off.
No, I'm not even talking to you.
Turn the fucking light off!
was really finally getting Abbie and Heath together that I realised that there was a very precise and working energy between them.
It's beautiful. I love it.
I really loved working with Geoffrey. We created a really lovely little relationship between our characters, really lovely little dynamic. We were laughing and joking about the fact that just our side story, our characters could be a silly sitcom somewhere.
If they're paying you, then would they expect you to have a stiffy?
He would be a great parent, Candy's dad, but Neil made the far more interesting choice that he would be a great decaying, junkie professor genius type.
Rearrange the atoms, take a bit off, put a bit on. Liquid diamorphine, commonly known as heroin, pharmaceutical grade, pure. I call it my yellow Jesus.
Unlike any other character in the book, in the story, it was very much created with Geoffrey's voice in mind.
This is Jorge, very limited English, but a very large penis.
Casper was also not a huge character in the novel.
A minor part of the world of the novel, but I want to bring him in as much more as a catalyst and a sort of another protagonist. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear.
And Geoffrey's obviously a brilliant actor and hugely talented, and so it was, I was really grateful.
It felt very much to me like maybe apprenticeship is the wrong word.
Neil's pretty terrific at doing that. I mean, I've seen him do that many, many times in the theatre.
I so wanted to work with this guy with this extraordinary reputation.
Geoffrey and I started working in the theatre in 1980.
So I just said I'd love to be involved, and if there's anything in there, I'll do.
I had so much to learn from Neil in terms of character and economy. This is where he's really good.
From things that are quite epic to moments that are very intimate between people.
It was fun working with Neil. It was just a very tough film to make.
It's a kind of dream vision. The door that opens at the beginning is a door into another kind of universe.
I think the key themes would be abandon, as in, wild abandon.
A hero, a heroine, and heroine.
It's like putting pieces of a puzzle together. It starts off as a massive enigma and you just slowly have to work it out.
It has epic mythological dimensions like Tristan and Isolde.
It's a great, noble and tragic love story.
I felt like it was something that I really wanted to portray on the screen for an audience to see.
You can manage to create a group of characters who all change. I think you can't ask for much more.
Wild abandon. There's this great line in the film where Geoffrey Rush says to Abbie, he says to Dan, "Everything all right?"
Everything's all right, isn't it?
And then he turns to Abbie and says, "And you, Candy? What does he say? And you, Candy? Being one so new to the path of wild abandon?"
And you, Candy? Being one so new to the path of wild abandon?
Oh, she's fine.
It's kind of about that path of wild abandon.
Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of the sky, and the tree called life. When I first met Candy, birds filled the sky. We wanted to share absolutely everything.
I want to try it your way this time. That was beautiful.
Does it ever embarrass you, Candy? This naked desperation?
I'm going to stay with you forever.
We'd found the secret glue that held all things together.
Everything's all right, isn't it? Being so new to the path of wild abandon.
Ah, she's fine.
What happened to that beautiful little girl? What happened? I have been clenching my fist since I was 6 years old!
I wasn't trying to wreck Candy's life. I was trying to make mine better.
to stop. You don't want to. When you want to stop, you can't.
She was everything to me.